Olympics, Commonwealth Games, World Series. So she will bring a presence and a calmness to her side this afternoon. If you've watched her this season, ball in hand, she's incomparable. She's constantly creating, searching for space. She's had some real ascendancy in this number 15 jersey. She's an absolute menace out the back there. I think she will be huge for the Queensland Reds this afternoon.
New South Wales Waratahs, as they make their way towards this playing surface. They are eyeing down a very important statistic. They're in their 5th grand final, hunting for another title. Many players dreamed about putting their hands on the trophy at season's end. Lane Morgan made the move in the off-season to the Queensland Reds from the Waratahs. She'll be looking to try and get a win as the Waratahs make their way out. Their 5th appearance in a grand final. Alicia Lucas It's just a big story around fullbacks today, and I think the Waratahs fullbacks she'll be looking to have a big one.
Yes, Caitlin Kidd, the youngest Test debutant for Wallabies or Wallaroos, to have an absolute cracker today. Speaking to Coach Mike Rivo, he said she was absolutely chomping at the bit for the opportunity today.
International referee Ella Goldsmith will be refereeing today. Dan Andrews, Harry Fenton, her assistants, and Chol Johnson working the TMO. Plenty of players eager to get that premiership today, but it comes to this. The current champions and the challengers, the Waratahs, and the Reds. Super Rugby.
While it may be her first season of 15s and her first grand final for Super Rugby Women's, this player has been in probably every single pressure pot that you could think of in Women's 7. She's been in World Cups, Olympics, Commonwealth Games, World Series. So she will bring a presence and a calmness to her side this afternoon. If you've watched her this season, ball in hand, she's incomparable. She's constantly creating, searching for space. She's had some real ascendancy in this number 15 jersey. She's an absolute menace out the back there. I think she will be huge for the Queensland Reds this afternoon.
New South Wales Waratahs, as they make their way towards this playing surface. They are eyeing down a very important statistic. They're in their 5th grand final, hunting for another title. Many players dreamed about putting their hands on the trophy at season's end. Lane Morgan made the move in the off-season to the Queensland Reds from the Waratahs. She'll be looking to try and get a win as the Waratahs make their way out. Their 5th appearance in a grand final. Alicia Lucas. It's just a big story around fullbacks today, and I think the Waratahs fullbacks she'll be looking to have a big one.
Yes, Caitlin.
Late change to the starting 15 for Mike Riven's and final hopeful squad. Kramer out the back. Links up with Kaslik, who wants to work it across the field to Irwin. The Reds looking for a way through here at North Sydney Oval. They're up over halfway.
Release.
Now a penalty against the Waratahs. The Reds take the ball and will look to go further towards the try line.
Yeah, Waratahs are looking to kick early to the Reds, trying to put them under pressure with those deep kicks, but I think the Reds attack
Thinnest of margins separate these two. Her first throw, and it'll be an easy ball for the Waratahs just ahead of their 22. Cover defence from the Queensland Reds.
Yeah, it certainly was, and May Stewart did well there to try and keep that ball in. Just looked like House was just trying to put it on the foot.
It's going to be an incredible lightning down that right-hand edge.
Morgan gets it in and out quickly. Kramer, inside ball for Wong, who comes off her wing. The most capped Super Rugby women's player of all time. Has a great touch. Mins, one out. Great hands from Kramer. Now Kaslik, sitting at second receiver, challenges the defensive line. Over on the right. Little fend from Zoe Hanna. Girl who grew up on an avocado farm, playing in the big smoke today. Price. Soasa. Away for Kapani, who's been instrumental in the Reds season in 2025 as the inside ball to Soaso, which has been so lethal in recent weeks, can't be completed this time.
Yeah, it has. It's a go-to for these two, Morgan and Soaso, this inside ball. And the gap was there. It's a lovely run from Eva Kapani just to draw those defenders in. Eva was drawn in by Morgan, and just that inside ball not going to hands.
How's the 1-2 punch, Kapani to Soaso? Like, in terms of wrecking balls, one passing to the other, that's one way to hold New South Wales defenders up.
Reds forwards get a great push on, but it's going to be yanked out by the Waratahs as Mackenzie punches it into open pastures at the southern end. It's a foot race. Kaslik is there. So was Miller.
No clean knock on
but
play
the
on.
Reds will scramble upon it and get it away for the clearance.
Thank you.
Exhilarating rugby early on.
Well, the change in momentum is often seen through. If that found hands, the Reds would have been in trouble.
Good compete. Backwards
The
by the
line
Reds.
out from the Waratahs has also failed. Yet to hit a clean mark. Kramer.
Inside, hold it.
Another kick for exit. She'll get it across the touchline, and it'll be the Waratahs now back near the 10 to throw the line out. Milo hits the hands of Anderson, but it's not straight, so it will see possession go back to the Queensland Reds.
You can't scrum. You can't scrum.
Well, it's those moments there that we talk about that are crucial in this grand final.
What's up? Okay.
Line out to shoot.
For the
Going
top,
straight,
please.
short end penalty for the Reds.
Oh, the Reds pull out the trusty carry and Eva Kapani off the tap as Soaso follows up on the very next phase. Huge carry from the record holder for the most individual defenders beaten in a Super Rugby game, Tia Tau. The Tonga capped international brings a real firebrand to her gameplay. Kapani, ball spits out. Morgan will lose it at the base of the ruck. Both teams looking to play fast, but a few errors creeping in early on.
It's big defense from the Waratahs.
Yep.
Britt Merlo just being a bit of a nuisance at the ruck, and
Mark set.
a moment for her.
Good stand at this side.
Number of games with the Waratahs out this season.
Keep this side
Being
square, okay?
returning
Keep in,
from
shoulders out.
injury, and what a moment to have to step up for your team. Grand final, move into starting at hooker.
Stand steady, hold.
Nil all here at North Sydney Oval.
Balls, play away.
Bird for Mackenzie. Fredericks out here for Miller, who gets a nice little line break. They're going to Hales. Now it's back to Fredericks. And Georgina Fredericks will fly across. Opening points for the Waratahs in this grand final.
Well, this is just classic Waratahs at their absolute best in a grand final, opening up the try-scoring account. They are so dangerous on these outer channels. Speed, support, it was all there. Desiree Miller, the shift to the left-hand side, cut-out pass from Fredericks back into House, and just the little offload to Fredericks to finish off what she started. What an opening try.
A phenomenal effort from the New South Wales Waratahs to get their account opening. Exceptional. The Reds just didn't really communicate.
Very successful for the Waratahs. They take a 7-point lead here early in the first.
Just the speed here from Miller, the acceleration from all three in the back line. They knew exactly where they were going, filled into support perfectly.
Ball back in play here for the Waratahs. Nicole Nathan comes into the side for her.
What's in front, ball? Now.
Who was arrested due to a knee injury sustained.
59, 50,
Host
23.
of
Keep retreating,
influential
6.
changes on both sides as the Waratahs battle with the Reds off the boot, but they'll miss the mark on this one, and the Reds with the attacking line-out opportunity inside the 10.
Hulse with the try assist. She's just overstepped that kick out on the full. Come back down for.
Thank you.
Boy for Christ puts the Reds on the front foot. There's Maria Tupai. Flies in first phase post set piece. Here's Kazlik. They put 2 on her and stop her advance. Mins, great hands there for Christ. As the Waratahs challenge at the breakdown, and they will be rewarded with a turnover. It's a big effort from Britt Merlo.
Well, Britt Merlo, she's been snipering around that ruck for a few phases now. The assistance from Emily Chance just to help her in her positioning. She looks to have managed a little bit of a niggle from it.
Reds, there you go.
That's that play, Alicia. You pop off to your outside forward, but it leaves an isolated runner. Just opened up for Britt Merlo to have a go.
Yeah, and you saw Salakai Pohivo, who's just getting checked here too. She rushed out of the line and took out that support player as well, that left the Reds players without their attacking support of that ruck. And you don't want to be falling at the base of anyone like Emily Chancellor. She's the top turnover winner for the Waratahs, and she was helped there by Britt Merlo, who looks to be okay for this throw.
Successful line out for the Waratahs as Mackenzie centers it up for Barker, whose pass to Fredericks will be lost for forward, and it'll be scrum time. The Reds getting the feed. This is going to be a real battleground for these two. Morgan just missed out on the advantage there at scrum time as Soaso Wahiva, who tips it on very quickly. Score a try, can Maya Stewart, but the Reds stop her just past the 10. Whoa, there's Cody coming in at a rate of knots. Barker distributing. Bird keeps working it out to the far fringe. Leaney steps up for another effort. Now they come to the midfield. Barker. The locks battering each other. Tiatau. McKenzie. Oh, it'll be dropped. We're seeing often here, McKenzie, first-second phase is slipping out. We've seen Barker jumping in at first receiver. Is there a bit of a tactic there for the Waratahs to free up McKenzie?
Well, I'd say so, and just bring an element of difference into this game. You know, there's a lot of game footage and game time for these two teams to do some homework about each other. So coming into a grand final, there has to be an element almost of surprise or just something slightly different to make the defense think about what they're doing.
I think
Very poor for Stewart, who is taken. Miller into some space. She's got wheels. Over to the short side, McKenzie. Doesn't like what's on the outside of her until she can get the offload clear. Nathan wearing another Tiatau special. Merlot holds it up for Pohiva, who careers over a couple of tacklers. Now it's been lost. Handling error at the breakdown, and the Reds to feed another scrum just in front of their 22.
There's a number of handling errors from both sides creeping into the game at the moment. Just leading up to this moment, I was about to say the Waratahs, they're certainly impressive on the counter-attack. You saw Desiree Miller. And then the speed at which the Waratahs then recycle around the other end to get that advantage ball.
a little interplay of hands between Kazlik and Irwin. There's a great little fend, and the awareness as that fullback's coming to shut it down. The bounce wasn't kind on the kick. But this is a danger woman, Miller. When she's in space, she is so hard to stop, and you see Soaso have to drag her to the ground. The Waratahs were working phases really nicely, but poor control from Pohiva there, sees a little knock on. And we go tip-a-tat here again as ascendancy changes from hand to hand all throughout this final thus far.
Both front rows getting some running repairs. Brown for the Reds. Heidi O'Gorman. Attention from the trainers. Big shift for both front rows today. Queensland Reds, out of all teams in Super Rugby Women's, they've been the most prolific point scorers in the opening half. Waratahs have done an excellent job to quell that as Tupai runs off the base of the scrum. It's well and truly past the advantage line. Here's Brown, little show and go. Love to see that from a front rower. Morgan flicks it out the back for Kaslik, has options inside and out, but she picks it to go herself, and she'll be dragged into touch. It'll be a Waratahs line out right here on the near side.
Well, it looked like the Reds had advantage. Yeah, the Reds were coming back for the advantage play from the referee. It's a good option from the Reds off the back of the scrum. We haven't seen much from the 8 out the back, but Tupai, it's a solid run.
It's a great change-up from Tupai, having a crack down that right-hand side, because it kept defenders on Soaso, who was always the main target. Advantage at the breakdown there. Has exceeded a little bit of space, but well defended from Friedrichs. She can score him and she can stop him.
Mins throws a bullet down to Morgan. Ball's left behind. Back is the call. Soaso with the offload. Kramer jukes and jives, but decides the only way to go is straight ahead as the Waratahs get the turnover, and O'Gorman will fly it out there for Nathan. Happened really quickly, and now they're on the counter-attack. Kramer's still on her haunches as play flies away on the left-hand side. Miller finding some space, beating a defender, getting the offload, hulls towards the corner, but they'll drag her into touch.
Well, once again, it's just the danger down this left-hand side from that same 3. Fredericks, Miller, House. Miller just can't be stopped at the moment, breaking through these tackles. You see here, just easy shift, drawing in those defenders. Irwin left with the overlap out wide. Miller does very well to break the tackles. House runs out of room, but this is a good position for the Waratahs.
7-0 the score. Reds with the line out on their 5-metre. Mins cabs it at the top of the arc as Morgan salvages what meterage she can. And the Waratahs, so quick. Another turnover at the breakdown. They are dominating that part of the game.
Desi Miller take a bow. Not only is she opening up the Reds' defence down that left-hand edge, she's stealing back their ball as well. Probably the smallest in stature out on the field and making the biggest of impact at the minute.
It's an all-in line out for the Waratahs. Oh, and it won't be taken cleanly, but it's at the back with Nathan, who burrowed herself back in to the driving maul as they look to barge over. And it'll be a second try for New South Wales here in the grand final.
It'll be really interesting if this try holds up. From all accounts, the ball hasn't been carried down by the receiver in the line out. It's then found the hands of Nathan, who is engaged in the maul. But the Reds haven't had the opportunity to then see that that's a clear obstruction. The ball carries through and Nathan is the one that goes over. It's 5 points to the Waratahs.
So the try there for Caitlin Leaning, her first of season 2025. kick for the extras will be unsuccessful. It's the Waratahs with the 12-0 lead over the Queensland Reds.
Just coming back to the logistics of this play. See, Ruby Anderson goes up in the air. She's unable to grab the ball. It comes down on a pop pass down to the player who would have originally latched onto the maul, but the rules of the maul, the ball carrier must be the first person to engage the defensive line.
Bounce came right at her.
Bring it
Bird,
back. Hold him front forwards. Now.
great job behind the breakdown today. As Caslin regathers it just behind the 22. Looks it there for Kramer, who'll put it on the bootlaces. Doesn't take for Hulls, who sends it back with interest and into touch. That's A1 rugby from the New South Wales Waratahs.
That is a massive kick from House. Just to keep going with that momentum. Such a tight angle too.
50-22. When they've got momentum. Anderson will bring it down. Chancellor for Nathan inside. The 22 who loses it. Now Soaso takes it upon herself.
Advantage over for the knock on. Leave it on the ground.
Goes right towards the ladies in sky blue. Morgan, Kramer, Kapani, now Brown. Ooh, wanted to get the hands free for Mins, but it'll eventually get there. Back is the call from referee Goldsmith. Morgan plays it back towards the middle of the field. Tiatow lining up. Chancellor gets the strip. That is so quick from Emily Chancellor. Blink and you'll miss it. Now Pohiva. Waratahs dominating at the breakdown, and now it's the Reds' turn to get the turnover. And they'll be March 10 as well, will the Waratahs.
13.
Georgina Friedrichs was arguing back at Ella Goldsmith, our referee, about hands raking, but I think she must have missed Emily Chancellor's turnover the one before, because they were very similar in that regard. The rugby gods probably worked in the Reds' favour there.
Just have a word with her. Understand she's passionate.
Well, while
but
we're on
just
it, Ella
towards now
Goldsmith, isn't she a success story in her own right? Comes from the small town of, well, not small town of Canumble, 500 kilometres northwest
football
of
on the
Sydney, comes through the pathway, and she's been such a huge figure on the international refereeing circuit for a few years now.
We had, we just saw the Women's Six Nations refereeing over there, so got a trip over to Europe and back again.
4, you're going to be out now. Change to bind.
Queensland Reds, off the back of their line-out, find themselves entangled with Waratahs defenders. The Waratahs may well and truly sabotage this one, but it's playable there for Morgan. That's Hietau. She's the single best bit of field position that the Reds have had in 25 minutes.
Use it, Red.
Mins
No hands, Blue.
takes the settler. So the Reds back line organises itself. Oh, another pick and go. As they go to that left-hand side, Suasa's there, beats the first. They're 7 metres away, but it's been lost forward in the middle of the tackle. And the Waratahs have scrambled
Let's use it.
and scuttled the Reds' attack. Oh, Chancellor, what a carry. Plenty of gusto from the skipper. Here's O'Gorman.
No hands, no rock.
Bird. It's McKenzie who cool and calmly dots it into touch. It'll be the Reds with an attacking line-in.
No, time to
It just seems like the Reds in this opening half have tried to come in with a bit of composure, but in doing so, they've sort of lost that intensity that we saw in their semi-final last week.
Yeah, they're losing a bit of their connection and continuity in their attack. They've had 4 entries down into their own half, and they've ended up with 4 knock-ons. So whether they're trying to play too structured because they've seen something, areas that they can attack from New South Wales Waratahs, and probably not just playing heads-up footy as well.
Big line out from the Reds at the back. Sees Mins emerge. Tiatau drags 3 defenders with her. Now Kapani for the second wave attack. Kramer. Fleet feet from Manera. Now it's with Caslick. Darts back towards the post. Over the top of it. Matrix looking for the turnover. There's the advantage now. The Reds playing with a free strike. Malloy. Soaso hunting for work on the edge.
Get this red side back into it would be Soaso.
Quick tap and go here from Morgan. She's going to dive over herself. She's just short.
Hands and feet.
Kapani picks and goes. Eva's over.
Well, I think Lane Morgan will feel a little bit cheated that she didn't get the 5 points there. It looked like she had it over the line, but not to worry. Eva Kapani says, got you back. I'll get it over the line for us.
Yep.
A near miss from Soaso there. Oh, their ball is touching white. Definitely a score for Lane Morgan going begging there. But like Kiri said, who else but to back you up that close to the line, and Eva Kapani. Too hard to stop, too powerful, too strong. And she breathes some life into this Queensland Reds side late in this first half.
Well, that she does, and Eva Kapani rockets up the table, equal first with the Waratahs' Maya Stewart, the most tries in the 2025 season. Just over 10 minutes remaining here in the first half. Both teams firing on all cylinders. Kenzie, shallow restart. Good take there from Kapani, who swats down Miller for her efforts. Caslick, now Morgan. And Soaso, that iconic first fend for every one of her carries. Always beats a defender. Oh, Malloy. Morgan just holds on to it. Manera. Here on the short side goes one-on-one with Barker.
Play the ball there.
They're up on halfway. It's Tiatau. Kramer wants it. Shalasso. Out here for Hannah. Hannah. What a battle we're seeing here. Ruby. Now advantage for the Reds. The Waratahs not rolling away. Morgan, inside ball for Soaso. The trusty special.
Give a penalty advantage, 9 number 3, not roll.
Now it's with Malloy, one out. The Reds playing with the freedom of the penalty advantage. Great hands from Kramer, finds Manera. Who gets hammered front on by Stewart, but that's enough for referee Goldsmith. They're back to the penalty.
Up on the edge of the painting, closest to me. Yeah.
3, go east to west, please.
The discipline becoming a bit of an issue for the Waratahs. And just this change of momentum from the Queensland Reds. They had the try earlier, they're back into it. Attacking-wise, they've been very strong.
You guys are fine there, you're fine. They've just gone back ready for the kick.
Eva not able to roll out of the way, but she's certainly taking numbers when she can.
Yeah, the Reds, Kiri, have really started to tighten up their attack, and they're really penetrating in around the Waratahs at their pillar and post, trying to draw penalties, trying to pick off that ill discipline around the ruck. huge tackle and hit from Maya Stewart there, causing the ball to be loose, and the pressure from Katrina Barker.
Well, the countdown is on. Secure your tickets for the British and Irish Lions now. With 9 games across 6 states, the world's biggest rugby tour is almost here. With the Lions heading to Australia in just a few months. Final tickets for all fixtures have just been released, including new affordable categories, but with higher demand, they won't last long. Scan the QR code today to experience an unforgettable event and secure those all-important seats. As we talk about something else all-important, ladies, it is the scrum, and the Reds seem to be building up a bit of pressure here.
Well, they're going to go again. Just as you mentioned, Marty, applying the pressure at scrum time. Certainly favouring Queensland Reds, and why not if it's working for them?
Ball here for the Reds on halfway. Kaslik floats a beautiful ball to Irwin, who beats the first up defenders. Now she's over the 22, the Reds, with a real feeling of momentum. Morgan. Cross, backdoor for Kramer, who gets it out just in the nick of time. The Waratahs looking for the turnover, and they'll get another one. Merlot with all the answers at breakdown time.
Once again, Britt Merlot in a wonderful position, but Liki Pahiva, she's been down on her knee for this shoulder a couple of times in this game, and I'll tell you what, she is throwing absolutely everything into her tackles, but in this instance has come off second best.
Nice little as did to them earlier. Does well to stay in field, and unfortunate here that Brown goes down with
Stewart getting away from one, but Wong has had her number all game on this near side. Now Kramer reefs the ball away. Reds with the turnover. Back is the call. Tired bodies in motion here as we look down the barrel of half time. Tiatau. Through 2 defenders. Now the Reds chance. It goes, and it's a great take by Mackenzie under pressure. Now they're breaking away. Stewart wants to break free. The Reds restrain her once more. O'Gorman head on with Kapani. Numbers out to the left here for the Waratahs. Hulls. Barker's pass will be left behind by Fredericks. Here she goes though, building up some speed, beats the purse. Fredericks! She'll lose it, regathered by Miller. And it's a try.
Well, from one wing to the other, Maya Stewart down one end, just so well, just bumping off defenders, and this is where the Waratahs get to work. They shift down to this left-hand side very quickly. There is space for days, and just this pass from Barker, not quite finding the hands of Fredericks, but not to matter. She turns on the acceleration, and tackle from Irwin was exceptional, but Miller was there to pick it up. The Waratahs, another 5 points to their name.
Ray Miller last week in the semi-finals, the equal most run meters for any individual player, so the most offloads for the Waratahs too. So take a moment here. Looks like they're reviewing this one with the TMO. There we go. TMO John Johnson has buzzed in from the box. His jobs today are to review try and no try situations and any foul play in goal. That'll be the limits of his power in this grand final. He's come in to say that that one was not a try.
That's a huge call in the context of the game, and the right call, the ability to have the TMO in this match, to see that as the ball was worked out to Georgina Fredericks, even after a brilliant run, it was a fantastic cover tackle from Irwin that sees her dragged into touch here before she releases that ball. So it's a fabulous call in the context of the game with under 5 minutes to go.
Reds will want to hold on here, but they've lost the line out. Cody will grab the loose ball. Now it's with Chancellor. Advantage here for the Waratahs. Here's Pohiva. She's over.
The line out going straight to the Queensland Reds, 5 metres out. You cannot do that against this side. The Waratahs damaging on the counter-attack. Just straight down the middle, one forward after the other. Wiki Pohiva sees the white line, and she is not going to be stopped. What a powerhouse and what a season she is having. Score a try in the grand final.
Third try in 2025 for Kaliki Pohiva. Big shift for her. Now an important kick here for Mackenzie to put the Waratahs up by 12. And it's good. Waratahs lead the Queensland Reds 19 points to 7.
The forwards were barnstorming. The Waratahs had a sniff after one was denied. They tried to score out wide early and they went up the guts through the middle on this one. Pohiva getting through so much work in this first half. She was looking to roll the fingers over for a sub after that one.
So the first half belongs well and truly to the New South Wales Waratahs. The final seconds unfolding right now as Kaslik breaks the ankles of Nathan before being brought down on halfway. Morgan, Kramer, Tiatau, the Reds, they'll do anything they can to get some points here to finish off the half. Brown wasn't ready for it, but willing. Bodies all over the shop here. Little pop there for Kapani, but she can't hold on. It's knocked on. It's there for the Waratahs. It should be one last scrum before we head into the sheds.
There'll be a lot to talk about for the Queensland Reds at halftime, and all in all, it just looks like pressure of a grand final that's really getting to them at the moment. The passes just not finding hands, organisation, whatever the part. Eva Kapani for a run, the missed timing between Morgan.
And the Reds scrum finds a penalty on the stroke of half time. sure in their eyes, an opportunity to go to the break with a potential 5-point margin would be very attractive.
That would be huge for the Queensland Reds. Scrum time, the Waratahs having issues of their own. Kahiva straight down, see me on the ground. Could manage to get away with at least 5 or 7 points. Certainly a tremendous win going into half-time.
Important throw here for Tiana Malloy. She finds Minns at the front as the Reds pack down for a driving maul. Forwards coach Simon Craig has his fingerprints all over the formation. It's at the back with Malloy. Still there as she splinters off on the short side. Not much room for the hooker. And they will drag her into touch. The Waratahs silence a last-ditch effort by the Reds to get a few more points. But it's half-time here at North Sydney Oval. The New South Wales Waratahs leading in this grand final. 19 points to 7 over the Queensland Reds. Big game here, and the crowd really starting to come alive. You see two tired teams making their way into the tunnel. Both sides have really left it all out there. The Reds have not had many opportunities inside that 22 to speak of, but the Waratahs have been so clinical at the breakdown, multiple turnovers, and the wide channels really paying off for them. That's why we see them go to the break in the lead by 12 points. And now for the first time today, it's a very good afternoon to Commonwealth Games and Rugby World Cup Sevens gold medalist Dom Toy, who's down there on the field getting some reaction.
Got Bella McKenzie here. Bella, it's been a tough start. Tough battle, but a really strong start from the Tars. What do you make of the first half?
Yeah, look, we're a bit clunky, a lot of errors. Our discipline kind of let them back into the game there, so we'll go into the sheds and clean that up for the second half.
And what do you think you need to do in the second half to come away with the title?
Just ball control. We just need to hold the ball, tighten our pods up, win that breakdown.
As the lead, 19 points to 7. Stay with us. Halftime breakdown just around the corner.
Well, it's not far away now. A massive local derby at Suncorp Stadium. The Reds hosting the Brumbies. There are so many individual storylines right here. What's the biggest for you, Shep?
Well, Nick, I think considering the news we've had during the week about Noah Lolesio, the big one for me is Noah Lolesio versus Tom Liner, the two fly halves for the Brumbies and the Reds respectively, and the battle that these two are going to go at this evening is going to be absolutely huge.
So you've got Noah, who, well, is potentially going to wear the 10. We don't know that against the Lions. And then you've got Tom Liner, who's the real challenger. And a lot of people looking at Tom Liner go, he's one of the most improved players in the Australian game right now. Maybe he's the guy to wear 10. There's a lot at stake.
There's plenty of questions. And, you know, for someone like Noah Lolesio, he's now got an opportunity to just maybe shrug off a little bit of that pressure and play his natural game, because when he does do that, he's absolutely brilliant. Tom Liner, 1 cap for the Wallabies in 2024, and a lot of people are predicting could be, you know, that fly half for the Wallabies going into the future. It's a huge game for them personally. It's a big game for both the teams. And in the context of playing for the Wallabies later in the year, it's enormous.
All right, so the Reds, they're currently 3rd. The Brumbies are 5th. The Brumbies can climb into the top 4 if they win here. A lot at stake for them, but for the Reds, how do they cover the loss of Harry Wilson out for 6 to 8 weeks with a broken arm, and Filippo Danguda, who has a calf injury? Opportunities here for players to stake their claim.
Absolutely. Let's not forget Josh Fluke also missing. Liam Wright also not available selection because of injury, among others. They're definitely slightly depleted, the Reds, coming into this one. But Les Kiss has been so passionate about building that squad. They're coming up against a Brumbies side that once they start to get a bit of momentum, they really know how to charge. Bobby Valentini been back for a few weeks now, starting to get to his best.
It is the Reds and the Brumbies. You'll see it on Stan Sport.
You need to go out there and do it the best you can. Whoever puts the most effort in between this mob and that mob, they'll win the game.
Probably the most common question is, Craig Bellamy, what's his secret?
The Storm's without doubt the most dominant sporting franchise in Australia.
To me, he's the best. He's taken coaching to another level. We'll go down as one of the greatest coaches.
The Stan original documentary revealed Craig Bellamy Inside the Storm. Now streaming only on Stan.
This is my squad.
Welcome back to the Super Rugby Women's Grand Final of 2025 at North Sydney Oval. It has been an epic opening 40. Both teams competing at a high level, but it's the small moments that have mattered the most. The New South Wales Waratahs enjoy the lead, 19 points to 7, and they were, Kiri Barker, the first team to score.
Yeah, the Waratahs staying true to form in the outer channels is where they thrive. Miller to House to Fredericks to finish it off, opening up the scoring account for the afternoon. What a start.
And then it was the Waratahs that backed up again with the second score. A maul try there, a little bit of confusion at the back, but the Reds counteract with a penalty. And then Lane Morgan so close, but it was a backup supporter from ex-Waratahs teammate in Eva Kapani diving over for the Reds first.
And then it was all Tars for the remaining of the first half. Likipahiva wasn't going to be stopped 5 metres out. She had the ball in hand. She had about 4 defenders on her. Plenty of work to do. She was able to score in a grand final.
Well, second half coming up in just a moment. Tars lead 19 points to 7. Stay with us here on Stan and the 9 Network. Plenty of action to come.
In the jungle, you're at war.
I was trying to build something.
The new Harlem. In the jungle.
Just be.
I want it and sacrifice.
Bobby had a lot. Nobody plays Frank Lucas.
Open up my window. In the jungle, the most dangerous creation is the man who has nothing left to lose.
I'm gonna burn them all down. Cross me once more, we will go to war.
Just in case.
The season's crown jewel event. It's the 50th anniversary of the Grand Prix of Long Beach. Who will make history and take the checkered flag on these legends?
One shot to prove I am the champion.
One shot to prove that I belong with the best.
One shot at greatness.
One shot to accomplish their goal. Who will meet the moment? Coming to save the PFL changes the game again. The $20 million PFL World Tournament. The best MMA fighters from around the world.
Oh my goodness!
Single elimination. One shot to survive. One shot to become the champion.
I ain't flying small plane like this.
Mayday!
We're stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Oh God, he's not breathing.
He's gone. One of us is a killer.
Let's all assume the worst of each other, shall we?
It's not a question of who. It's why.
So who's next?
Last night, 600 people died, and it wasn't an accident.
What would you call it?
An attack.
I'm not the one you're looking for.
People are saying that Shaw was responsible for the deaths.
Everyone in the city wants me dead because of you. I'm gonna make you pay for what you've done.
The brand new season of Gangs of London.
Welcome back to North Sydney Oval, second half of the Super Rugby Women's Grand Final for 2025. The Waratahs and the Queensland Reds are locked in battle once again. They played each other for the first time 29 years ago. It's one of the longest standing rivalries within the Super Rugby Women environment. Martin Lippiott here with you for the call. I'm joined by Wallaroo Kiri Parker and Olympic Sevens gold medalist Alicia Lucas. Welcome to the second half, ladies.
Yeah, thank you. You see there the error from Eva Kapani. She's had a blue jersey on. She's in a maroon one this afternoon, and the Reds really need some spark to get into this second half. Not quite the start they would be looking for.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And they would have talked about their handling in at halftime and starting with an error like that. But they're dominating this scrum, and that's where they're going to get that ascendancy, Kiri.
Tupai off the back, charges up over halfway. The forwards may very well be that which turns the tide in this grand final. The Reds, they've never defeated the Waratahs in Super Rugby Women's history, as we see a line break. A rare occasion here. Faith Monera's into space. She gets the offload back to Wong. A rare touch for the Reds skipper, as the Reds have come out of the blocks absolutely screaming. A halftime rev up gets them into position as Morgan gives it to Brown, who loses it. The timing was off. It was starting, it was stopping, but the Waratahs will take the possession and put it away for the exit kick. An incredible start to the second half.
Yeah, we talked about the Reds needing to come into the second half with a spark, and they've just delivered, but not able to capitalise on what's working so well for them. We just saw the mistiming. Brown went to charge for a run. Lane Morgan wasn't quite ready to deliver that ball. I believe she was opting for the referee just to watch the feet of the Waratahs defensive line for the offside, and in doing so, it's just sort of wrecked the connection between the two, and Brown has unfortunately come up with the handling error.
It all started off the back of this huge push at the scrum, and it was Tupai who took the run. Monera with the slick dummy on Hulse. She didn't have the wheels to get there. Bird covered nicely. And just that clunkiness, going from fast to then slow and not being able to get the timing right. Saw an opportunity go missing. The Waratahs aren't out of trouble here with the Reds line out.
The execution was poor for the Reds as the Waratahs jump on the counter-attack. Bird had some running repairs. Got a roll of tape around that boot and ankle. That'll be tomorrow's problem. McKenzie holds it for a second, misses all three targets, and it'll roll into touch. The Reds gifted another opportunity early in the second.
It just seems like the jitters of the grand final is still lingering in the second half. And the Queensland Reds, they've done this slip play in the line out multiple times this year. They're actually quite lucky in that instance. The players have to swap out simultaneously. There's very little room for error in a slip line out, and it just looks like Wong was lingering a little bit longer than she needed to.
Five-man line out for the Reds, and the new player on the field for the Waratahs, Kilasamasi, will steal it at the back of the line out. Oh, a little bobble from Merlot to Chancellor, but play on. Back is the call. It's a big year for women's rugby. So many Wallaroos fixtures coming up. They're playing for position as Hales breaks through. Gets the offload to Fredericks, but she can't hold on and will be lost.
Well, at the moment, Alicia, the ball can't seem to find the hands of anyone out on the field.
And the conditions look absolutely prime out there, so the ball shouldn't be slippery. The line out for the Reds becoming a real worry. The Waratahs Holtz opening up through space. Hands not being found with Fredericks, and that would have been dangerous. Her in that zone has been known to score multiple occasions there.
The one thing that's in the back of all these players' mind, who they will play if they are victorious today. The Alpiki Grand Final kicking off very soon after full time here between the Blues and Mutatsu. And the winner here, they'll be heading across the ditch to play this Thursday, 2 p.m. See who the greatest provincial side is at the Tasman as the Reds decide it's their turn to leave one behind and they'll throw it into touch now.
Well, there's something coded on the ball at the moment. There's about 4 minutes into this second half and it's been nothing but scrums from handling errors. As you mentioned, Marty, straight after this, the final, the ball-picking Blues, Mutatsu had a glimpse at their season. It has been phenomenal. It'll certainly be a huge final there.
Who do you two back to get through?
Look, both sides are stacked with Black Ferns.
Don't do a Tim Horan, you've got to pick something.
I'm going to go with the Mutts too. I think they've been really direct in their game. You know, had a lot of work on. They've got some really star players in that side, and I think they'll be able to do it this afternoon.
I'm going to go the Blues.
I like it.
Just to go against you.
But yeah, big year for the Wallaroos, ladies. 10 plus games on the calendar. Obviously, they're building towards that first test match over at HFC Stadium in Suva when they take on Fiji on May 3rd. We'll be able to catch that one live ad free and on demand in the home of Rugby Stand Sports as the Queensland Reds look.
Second half, I'd be scrumming at each and every opportunity because it is doing some damage at the moment.
They've really got to turn that ascendancy into points though here, Kiri. They've had multiple opportunities where they've got the penalty. They've gotten on top of the Waratahs there, but they've been unable to execute, probably going too lateral in their attack. They need to stay direct, stay tight, and hold on to that ball.
The Reds, they haven't dipped into that reserve stock yet, but the likes of Setu Taufua, the three-cap Blackburn international, Charlie Jacoby, who scored last week. Created, it's going to really upset the apple cart.
Well, it's really just helping them out in this game so far. The line out has been a bit of an issue for them, but the scrum has been phenomenal. For the Waratahs, on the other hand, Emily Robinson is on the bench, and she's an very experienced scrummager.
If she gets on the field, it'll be cap number 39 for Horse Robinson as the Reds try to go forward with Kaslik. Stewart looks like she's had the lights knocked out. She's still on the ground. That was a massive collision, and rightly so. The game will be temporarily suspended. A massive clash between outside backs.
You just see it instantly. Stewart on the ground, head flopped back. Just looked like she's caught herself in an awkward position against Charlotte Kaslik on the fly.
It would act as a very interesting moment in this match between these two sides. Waratahs currently in the lead, 12 points to 7. Stewart, the all-time highest try scorer in Super Rugby Women's, has come off second best in this contact.
Yeah, you just see it there. It just looks like that right knee of Charlotte Caslick has just caught Stewart at the wrong time. She's put her head on the inside. She'll be leaving the field. She doesn't look to be in a good way.
Well, as we wish Naya Stewart all the very best, we'd like to invite everyone to witness history in the making as the Wallaroos take on their formidable rival, the New Zealand Blackburns, at Newcastle's McDonald Jones Stadium, May 10th. Lovely Saturday, with both teams gearing up for glory at the upcoming Women's World Cup later this year. The stakes couldn't be higher. Scan the QR code on screen now to cheer for the green and gold in their first home game of the year and secure your tickets today. That's going to be a cracker.
That certainly is, and as a grand final to play, there will be thoughts in the back of their minds for a lot of these players about higher honours after this match.
Match against the winner of Alpiki on Thursday could in countries as M. Chancellor is in there, two hands looking for another turnover. As Tupai gets a roll on. Now Caslick up over the 22. The Ernest Comer to the 15s game having a big impact in the grand final as Malloy rolls through the defenders. Morgan. Now penalty advantage here for the Queensland Reds. It'll be paid. They're in prime position as Morgan taps and goes, puts it down. It's a try for the Queensland Reds.
Well, she was denied the first time for the quick tap and go, but Lane Morgan, she gets this one. Just caught the entire Waratahs defensive line napping. I don't think her own team even knew that she had the ball and she was going for the quick tap, but she looks up and there was just a gaping hole. Whatever Waratahs were defenders in front of her, I think O'Gorman.
The opportunity that was taken away from her in the first half. She takes her chance there in the second. It was a tight look to whether she released that ball enough for the tap, but the try has been given. And that is exactly what the Reds needed to do in this first half. Play tight, play direct, and pick off areas around the Waratahs defence where they're vulnerable and execute with quick, fast players like Lane Morgan.
Let's just have a look at this tap here from Morgan.
There's
wow.
There is an inch of release in that. I'll give it to her.
That's all she needs, isn't it?
It's try time for the Queensland Reds. 5 points difference here in the 50th minute of play at North Sydney Oval for this Super Rugby Women's Grand Final in 2025. Tarasso, one out. Credit to the Waratahs defence. They've really had her number today as Kramer puts up a contestable one, which will sail out on the full and offer up a very tidy platform for the Waratahs to have another go at attacking.
You see Emily Robinson, one of the substitutions being made. Marty O'Gorman, her day done for this afternoon, and certainly a bolster to the scrum, which has been under pressure for the Waratahs.
So all of the reserve front row stock on the field for Mike Riven's side, as the Waratahs driving maul seems to be in all sorts, because Eva Kapani has decided to swim right through the middle, and it'll be a turnover. How did she get there?
On the ball, there's that many bodies in motion. Probably hard to tell, but Eva Kapani looks like she's just splintered down the middle. It all started just with a solid drive from the Queensland Reds, and you just see there Eva Kapani straight down the middle. She's able to get in between Annabelle Cody and Kate Malini. break that formation and come away with the ball. Exceptional defence from Kapani.
I love how, Marty, you looked at me. I've got no idea what's going on.
Well, I don't think she splintered it. She's a bit of a blockbuster. She went right through the middle. Now the Reds flounder inside their 22. Irwin given a heavy task to get away from her own try line. Tia Tau, still plenty left in the tank. The lock flies up. Soaso gives it out for Wong. Here's the skipper. Hasn't had too many touches, but she'll get a nice one here as the Reds look to be running it up the field. Kramer outside the 22. The last one went out on the full, and this one will hold up tidily for Hulls, who centres it with Mackenzie. Mackenzie now eyes the free territory out the back, and she makes the Reds pay. Arabella Mackenzie dominating the kicking game.
The Waratahs are winning the territory battle. She has them slightly ahead. Arabella Mackenzie just shy of a 50-22. She's the most kick meters for the 2025 season, and interesting tactic before in their last penalty, opting for a tap move, and now they'll go to the post.
Well, this is the fourth time that the Waratahs and the Reds have met each other in the grand final. In the maiden year of the competition, the Waratahs got the win 16-13. They won again by only 3 points in 2019, 8 points to 5. Then after the dark times of COVID, it was a comprehensive win, 45-12. I feel like we're back in that pre-COVID time at the moment. Both teams putting up one hell of a show here at the ultimate conclusion of a wonderfully competitive season. Kenzie from in front puts them more than a converted try ahead. The Waratahs in the lead, 22 points to 14.
It was Eva Kapani who gave away the penalty there. She was told hands out, but she kept digging at the ball. The Tars played advantage, but went back. And the kick makes it a 2-score difference. The Reds are
safe hands on the restart. Bird. To Mackenzie, who's and a high shot from Kilasamasi. This could be trouble for the front rower.
not a high degree of danger, so maybe I'll try. Do you agree? Okay.
Captain, 18. 18.
Ebbs and flows in this grand final. This could be a costly error for the New South Wales Waratahs. Saneti Kilisamasu off the field for 10 minutes.
Yeah, an obvious yellow card. She's come in with a swinging arm. As you see, the changes need to be made at scrum time. Have to have a full front row. Radio Gorman stays not done. She's back on the field.
Substitution. Made for New South Wales Waratahs. Number 6, Nicole Nathan has come on. She replaced by number 1, Brodie Okafor.
Jersey 22 for the Waratahs. Price. It's imperative that
Jade Sheridan onto the field. Stewart off with
front row changes yet from Queensland Reds as well. So they've still got that in pocket, does head coach.
number of changes for the Queensland.
So it's a tidy line out for the Queensland Reds as they sit 8 metres away. Leanie's got her long limbs over the top. She'll stall their progression. Irwin, Caslick, they've got the advantage in numbers if they can utilise it, but they wrap her up well. That's a great tackle from Sheridan. A man down
for a tap move, and now they'll go to the post.
Well, this is the 4th time that the Waratahs and the Reds have met each other in the grand final. In the maiden year of the competition, the Waratahs got the win 16-13. They won again by only 3 points in 2019, 8 points to 5. Then after the dark times of COVID, it was a comprehensive win, 45-12. I feel like we're back in that pre-COVID time at the moment. Both teams putting up one hell of a show here at the ultimate conclusion of a wonderfully competitive season. Kenzie from in front puts them more than a converted try ahead. The Waratahs in the lead, 22 points to 14.
It was Eva Kapani who gave away the penalty there. She was told hands out, but she kept digging at the ball. The Tars played advantage, but went back. And the kick makes it a 2-score difference. The Reds are chasing that down now.
Gorman.
The Tars played advantage, but went back. And the kick makes it a 2-score difference. The Reds are chasing that down now.
Gorman. Of Monera. Waratahs. Playing it well as Leaney. Carries it through. Now it's with Robinson. And cap number 39. Good show and go there from Hales. She'll get some pay. Waratahs looking very comfortable here. McKenzie holds it up for Miller, who's into some space going up the middle. She'll beat Kramer, and that was an incredible play that the Waratahs so desperately needed.
The inside ball from Arabella McKenzie just to put Miller into a beautiful gap straight down the middle. Yeah, McKenzie just holding it up long enough to give enough space for Miller. Too fast, too composed. An exceptional try for the Waratahs.
Isn't that exactly what championship teams do? Absorb pressure, a player in the bin, and they're able to score an exceptional try like that. Desiree Miller has been everywhere throughout this match.
McKenzie to twist the screws on the Queensland Reds, and she does. The Waratahs in the lead, 20.
Knows how to play grand finals, and they've got one hand on this trophy. As we go down to the crunch moments of this second half, Arabella McKenzie, she has been steering this ship so well all afternoon. Desiree Miller, what an athlete.
15 points, more than 2 converted tries. It is an uphill battle for the Queensland Reds with less than 20 minutes to go. And their sense of urgency has dramatically increased.
It has, and this is going to be a good win for them.
So the Reds with another opportunity. They won't waste time as Kapani gets the switch play up the tram tracks. Now they pick and go with Tia Tau.
Hands and feet.
Blackburn International. Taufua is over, and the Reds are all revved up.
Well, the response from the Reds is swift. As you mentioned, Marty, the urgency has picked up a notch. They know what's on the line side. You see here the little pop-off pass, a little bit of confusion as to who was where. They managed to scramble, get back into their form.
The Reds are back trailing by 8 here at the Super Rugby Women's Grand Final for 2025.
When the Reds do it well, it looks great. They've got to keep it simple. They've got to get tight if they're going to get back into this race. But the Waratahs are a classy outfit, and they have that hand, like you said, Kiri, on that trophy. And McKenzie will look to master and conjure up something in this last 16 minutes we've got of this final game here.
Mackenzie gets them back started. The Waratahs, they've had a hand on that trophy since the 8th minute. They haven't given. They'll steal it back from the Reds in their first phase of possession. There's Robinson, Hulls, Mackenzie, Ellis on the field, the young 17-year-old. One of a number of young players for the Waratahs today. There's Millie Parker. And Schoolgirls Australian Sevens. For M. Chancellor. Readers for Hulls. Pops it back inside for Cody. As the Reds get the turnover, but can't hold on to it. Ellis here for Parker. Play moving over to that right-hand side as Ellis puts the little chip through for Kramer, who welcomes it and punts it back down. The So the turnover attempt from Malloy will lead to a penalty.
Yeah, Tiana Malloy was actually in good position, but Zoe Hanna was still caught up in Sinetti Kilisamasi returns to the field from a yellow card. Waratahs back to their full contingent.
Field for the second time today. Takes it 10 points the lead. Have a bit of breathing room, but not much. They play it up through the middle. Parker with the settler. Now it's with Mackenzie. Cuts back across the grade. Harms. Cody holds the pass for a second. Brumford.
I've seen this a number of times from the Queensland Reds, is that accelerating player first off from the 9 with a handling error. For the Queensland Reds, they just need a bit more space, a bit more depth. Playing just a little bit too close to the line, and it's causing errors all over the park.
Jordan Fredericks, she is in rare air in this competition. She hasn't missed a single minute of the 2025 season. What a day she's having. 1 try, 4 defenders beaten, 14 tackles. She's been instrumental in this match today, alongside Caitlin Leaney, who has also played every minute for the Waratahs in 2025. A huge achievement from them both.
Crouch! Fine! Set! Steady! Steady! Way too much movement. Okay. Let's reset. I'm okay this side. Keep it up. We need to stay square. Both our hips went out. We went straight in. Let's go. Wait for the ball. Find the stability.
8.5 minutes left here at North Sydney Oval. It is the New South Wales Waratahs in the lead, 36 points to 21.
Fine.
An incredible display from the reigning premiers, who have fought through adversity in this game. They have come out shining as they look to attack again. Desiree Miller, an unbelievable asset to this Waratahs side. But very well in contention for a Player of the Match award. He's had a mortgage on this left wing all season, and it's been paying off today. Ellis for Fredericks as Chancellor spreads her legs. Now Kramer through the middle, punts it away. Ellis is scrambling. Great pass to Hales, but that one was about 2 metres forward. But with 7.5 minutes to go, the Waratahs can afford to be a little complacent.
House was petitioning to the referee just then. That pass hadn't gone forward, but unfortunately Annabelle Cody fell into her hands a mile forward. Tatum Bird has had a huge shift this afternoon, stepping into that 9 jersey this season for the Waratahs. Celine Morgan shifted over to the Reds. She has done so tremendously.
New players on the field, and there'll be new matches coming up after full time today here on Stan Sport. Super Rugby Pacific. See the Reds and the Brumbies doing battle up at Suncorp Stadium, kicking off 7 p.m. local time as their women's counterparts continue to battle here at North Sydney Oval, but they've lost it again. And as time ticks away, their chance at potentially getting their first premiership and a victory against the New South Wales Waratahs looks slimmer and slimmer. Kramer gives it to Kaslik. Kaslik, some of that Sevens energy right now will go a long way. On the spot there, Queensland Reds fighting all the way to the end. There's Charlie Jacoby, the USA international, with a carry. On the short line, Price, offload back to Kramer. Now to Hannah, who gets tag team. Over the top quickly was Parker, but she'll have to retreat. Rushing out of the line, the Waratahs want to ice this one quickly. Taufua picks and goes. 6 minutes remain as Kramer drops the ball. The handling errors for the Queensland Reds has really hurt them, especially in the second half, as Howells finds her way into open room, but she can't get the kick. It's knocked on again. And after a litany of errors, it will be a scrum for the Queensland Reds.
Yeah, the kick just not finding the foot of house, but the back three for the Waratahs have had an outing this afternoon. They have just been running amok all day alongside the support. Friedrichs and House just does so well to accelerate into these gaps. Quite coming off the end, but we've spoken so many times about the handling errors from the Queensland Reds mounting throughout this entire game.
It's disappointing for them, Kiri, that you get to a final, have played some brilliant attacking rugby all throughout the season, and those handling errors have really let you down. The pressure that the Waratahs have put on them, or the way that they've attacked a little bit too narrow at times, a little bit halted and disconnected from their 9.
Reds have enjoyed the blood of possession and territory in this game, but the overarching defence from the Waratahs is the real winner of this game, as the Reds will do everything they can to close this margin down before the full-time siren sounds. But another incredible display from Georgina Fredericks at the breakdown will really put a nail in the coffin of this grand final for the Queensland Reds.
Well, the Waratahs are just in control and they're playing like it. Fredericks so strong over the ball. Desiree Miller, as he mentioned, Marty's just put in an MVP performance this afternoon.
And both with and without the ball, Kiri, she's had 2 turnovers. That front-up tackle she just made on Irwin then to assist Fredericks with the turnover was incredible.
The final 5 of season 2025. The Waratahs on the front foot. Harvey. McKenzie puts Fredericks into space, and that will do it. The Waratahs, another try, have all but sealed up the premiership for 2025.
There is just nothing but praise to be said about Georgina Fredericks. So very deserving of a double this afternoon. She has been instrumental year upon year for this Waratahs side. Just lovely ball handling, McKenzie. Again, gaps opening up through the Reds' defence. Fredericks just strong onto the ball in hand, accelerates further. She is just shifting her side along to victory.
So right in front, Arabella McKenzie, the puppeteer of so many tries this afternoon, adds another 2 points to her and the team's tally. It's the Waratahs in the lead, 43-21, 3 minutes to go.
It's a brilliant 2-out pass, held up from McKenzie. And Fredericks would have to be the in-form centre at the minute. She's got that 13th jersey on for the Wallaroos for sure. She's been a standout this season. Iced with the 2nd try in a final.
Another restart. Brought back by the Queenslanders as Setu gets a 2nd carry. Now Monera tips it on for Kaslik, who gets the hands free for Piper Flynn. There's that Sevens connection. Now steaming on, it's Ross. She'll hold on to it this time. 2 minutes left. Kramer. 1 out for Mins. Another battler in this Queensland Reds side. Pick and go from Setu. And an offload for Jacoby. The Reds not giving up. It's with Wright. Kramer. Dallinger gets it away again for Wright as the Reds looking to finish on a high. 90 seconds left on the clock. Mins for the pick and go. Now it's with Jacoby. Advantage here for the Queensland Reds. Ross. The forwards really getting it done. Taufua picks and goes. Advantage still under effect for the Reds. Kaslik goes herself. Unable to score a try so far this season. Her maiden season of 15s. Here's Jenny Ross. The Reds, so many phases put together. The final minute of play. Victory will go to the Waratahs, but the Reds will fight to the last as Wright puts the crossfield kick in. It'll be lost onto the ground. It's still here for Manera. So 30 seconds on the clock. The Reds going down in a blaze of glory. A big carry for Taufua. One try today for the front rower. The Waratahs, too good in 2025. They're not going to let them through easily as the Reds continue to knock on the door. Time ticks over. Ross will not find a way. A pick and go at the back. It's been knocked on. And it's a sky blue victory for the New South Wales Waratahs. They are once again back-to-back Super Rugby Women's Champions in 2025. Final score here at North Sydney Oval. The Waratahs 43, the Reds 21. An emphatic victory for the New South Wales Waratahs. The game got so close, but that lead that they found in the 8th minute, they never gave up. It got close, but they showed their class, they showed their experience, and they showed why, for a 5th time in a grand final, they are deserved champions.
The Waratahs, just the pinnacle of women's rugby in Australia, and they hold on to that title. They played with composure and class right till the very end, holding off Queensland Reds side that will be disappointed in the outing this afternoon. And the scoreline is a telling tale. Questions asked about the Waratahs very early on, a loss to the Drua. What rattled them? They have regrouped and they have just stormed through the season. Incredible win for 2025.
A huge moment for the New South Wales Waratahs to be able to put on a performance